Baker with Skidmore, Owings and Merrill, structural engineer. We're sitting in one of SOM's buildings, the Jin Mao Building in Shanghai. We're taking a technical tour of this later this week. What should we look for?
Well, what's quite interesting is to my mind, is the outriggers themselves. They're huge. This building is like a skier with ski poles. Okay, it has a central core that goes up, and then at certain levels, the structure has outriggers, trusses that go out and reach the perimeter and stabilize the building. And interestingly enough, at the top in the observation area, that you can actually see them. You actually see one of them. It's actually part of the architecture. The building itself is kind of interesting. It's nominally 88 stories. Actually, it has a few more than that if you count all the mechanical. It has, which 8, as you know, is lucky in Chinese. It has an octagonal core, octagonal concrete core, which eventually at the bottom is full of elevators because of the office space below. At the top, it gets hollowed out to create the atrium, but the octagonal concrete core is still there. It's back at the face of the guest rooms. And then it has 8 mega columns, and it has 8 minor columns, for a total of 16 columns. And then if you look at the outside of the building, it goes down by the first zone. It has this gradation of the number of floors. At the very bottom, it is 16 stories, is the first segment, which is twice 8. Then it goes down by an 1/8 each, so it goes 16, 14, 12, 10, 8. Okay, and then it goes down by 1/8 of that. Okay, so then it goes 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You add all those numbers up, it adds to 88, which is makes Jin Mao a very lucky building.
You're a man who knows his numbers, and there was a golden ratio that they use when they describe the structure of sunflowers and the seeds within them.
Yeah.
When you saw this actual this numerical strategy that you described laid out, was that kind of a surprise to see those numbers actually come alive the way they did?
Yeah, well, it was kind of amazing when it all came together. This building was done very early in the tall building world as far as China was concerned. It was one of the first big buildings. It's one of the first big building in Shanghai, and it was considered, we understand, at a very high level within the Chinese government. Whether or not this was the right thing, and I somewhat suspect that the numerology was helpful in getting the building accepted and built.
The Jin Mao opened in what, 1999? Is that right? Roughly, it was a
Roughly,
late 1990s,
yeah.
somewhere in their vintage building. Is this an old technology building, the last generation, or is this the current generation?
No, it's actually very current. A lot of the mega buildings being built out there are the same structural system, a core and outrigger. I mean that's still the most commonly used tall building system. It also, as you look at the top of the building, from a wind point of view, it's actually very good because of the way the shape constantly changes near the top, and it changes kind of an interesting way. On each facade there's the 2 mega columns, okay, and they generally go up straight, okay, and then and each of the corners there's 2 minor columns, and those are the ones that kind of set back as you go up. They create the shaping of the tower that gives the building its form. But from a construction point of view, it's really quite straightforward to shape the building in that way, and it also because of the wind shaping of the building, the way it sets back at the top, it's very helpful for reducing the wind loads on the building.
I've been in your office in Chicago, and I know that the top of this building, which is spectacular, and I hope we get a chance to go out at the top during our technical tour, went through several design versions, did it not? What was the process like for designing the top of this building?
Well, the architects, led by Adrian Smith, spent a great deal of time trying to refine it. I mean, a great deal of labor was put into the way this building was finished, the way it catches the light, the stainless steel ball at the very top of the building, so that no matter where the sun is, you'll get a sparkle. So there's a lot of attention paid to the building as to how it would play in the sunlight.
The Jin Mao Building is home of one of the most spectacular places in tall buildings today. The atrium is just unbelievably,
Right.
you have to see it to believe it. What is your nomination for most spectacular place inside of a building, existing or planned?
Well, it's hard to beat the atrium here at Jin Mao. But I actually like quite a bit is just sitting there in the residential lobby of the John Hancock Tower with the it's a double height space, and you can see the half of of an X. You can see the chevron of the diagonals there in the lobby. I like that quite a bit. You feel like you're part of the building and you're looking out over the lake. It's quite nice. I was got to say that's at least one of my favorite places.
Bill Baker, you're no stranger to Shanghai, that's for sure. Thanks for dropping by.
Sure, glad to be here.